Sports Day is brought to you by Barton Community College. Explore your future and get started now. Visit gobarton.com.
Okay, Sports Day in 3, 2, 1.
Barton had their final game of the 2022 portion of the season before the Christmas break in El Dorado at the power plant, taking on the Butler Grizzlies. They split with Butler. Lady Cougars win 62-54, and the men lose a scrappy game 56-49.
Just couldn't make shots, 3 for 20 from the three-point line and 12 for 30 from the free throw line. That's not going to get many ball games won. We've got to shoot better than that. We were 0 for 6 in the second half. I thought we were shooting really well and shoot around.
We haven't had anything, on the road that was easy. Cloud and Hutch and Garden City and Coffeyville and now Butler. So, if you look at the standings, we've got 5 of those top 6 or 7 schools already out of the way on the road. So that hopefully will portend for good things coming, after the break.
I think we have a pretty good idea of where we're at right now and some things that we need to improve on both individually and collectively.
I think that's something the Chiefs should use going forward. And they probably will. They don't need to go to, Ronald Jones or, Clyde Edwards-Helaire when he comes back. Those two guys are both getting the job done.
The interesting thing will be is because of how the quarterback play has gone this year, I can't say that there's going to be this massive void. I think the thing that could come into question is that if the quarterback play improves, what does that then end up do to the narrative about the situation out there? Because there's
the most unique football coach in person you'd probably ever run into. Just truly one of a kind. He was my first offensive coordinator when I started in '99 at Oak.
Pressure throws down little, caught by Hopkins, crossing near side. Ball's punched loose. Got it. Picked up by the Patriots. Down the right side, running into the end zone. Touchdown, New England. A scoop and score for Raekwon McMillan.
And welcome to Sports Day on 1590 KVGB and 95.5 FM. Welcome to the Tuesday show, although it already seems like it's Friday here in the Golden Belt. Steve Webster along with Mike Hesher, who forgot to turn on the camera here. He said that was quite the waddle you had over there to the camera. Okay, he's now taking it now, and he is sliding it back into its location. Hesh, I've seen you move that fast before. Tuesday show, and looking forward to it today. We're going to have on voice of the Larned Indians, Gary Wagner, is going to join us, as the Indians will be the Tribe tonight in Great Bend to take on the Panthers at the Field House tonight. Also, asking if he knows anything about Larned's putting turf on their football field.
I heard about this.
Yes, how about that?
That's pretty cool. They needed it.
There's that one water pipe that, anyway.
I used to move that water pipe when I was in high school.
Well, it's underground now, but see, I was officiate over there, and Mike Marzoff said linesman, so down about the 8-yard line, this water would bubble up underneath. There's always a mud hole over there. I hope they just keep that
okay.
That little pool over there.
In honor of Mike Marzoff.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, all right, okay.
All right, so we'll talk to Wags here on the program today, and we'll get good insights now. Now he's not a district employee. He can really dive deep in what's going on over there, right?
It depends on if he wants to keep his job or not, I guess.
Voice of Cougars, Cole Reif will be in. He'll be talking about last night's games at Butler. Cougars now off until January. Bend Panther Wrestling coach Nathan Broeckelman on the prowl with Mike Corson. And he'll be talking about Lady Panther Wrestling today after talking about the boys yesterday. Tuesday sports headlines and the sounds of the past 24 hours. So let's get to our sounds of those past 24 hours. And that was Cole Reif talking about the games last night in El Dorado. The women win 62-54. Good win for the Lady Cougars against the Grizzlies. So Barton goes to break 12-2 overall, 6-2 in league play. The men, man, they couldn't hit the broadside of the ocean last night, as you heard Jeremy Combs talk about, losing 56-49 to Butler. Barton now 9-5 and 4-4 in conference play. 12 of 30 from the free throw line.
What? Oh, from the free throw line?
From the free throw line.
Oh, my. Is that a tough place to shoot? You've been there.
No, it's usually a pretty good place to shoot. Yeah, it's
wow.
Nice and cozy. I could bury three-pointers all day there. I don't know what problem is for other guys, but
Somebody in your face guarding you, maybe?
well, that's
Because Butler didn't sound like they shot very well either.
No, and Cole, I don't know, cut on the postgame. It was this like the lowest combined point total between the two teams, like in 180 games.
Wow.
Or maybe Barton's lowest point total in 180. It was not a good night offensively. So, man, that's tough. You go to the break, you got to chew on those games.
For a month, for at least 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there'll be good Christmas gifts for the Clark relatives and maybe not so much for the Combs family. But so they're all done now. Alan Clark talking about his they've already played 5 tough road games.
I heard that. That's fantastic going forward for them.
Oh, yeah. Well, looking forward to, down the stretch, all those teams have to come to Great Bend now. So if you're thinking about a regular season conference championship.
Got to hold serve, though. It won't be easy.
Oh, yeah. They'll just roll over them.
Okay, right.
It's better playing them at home than playing them on the road.
Okay, I will not disagree with that.
Okay.
Some teams play better on the road, though.
Who?
I always thought when I was with the Fort Hays State basketball team, we were more focused on the road.
That was
a long time ago. We don't need to go into that.
Mike Hesher will break down the 1984 Fort Hays State Tigers.
I've always wondered which team was better, 84, 85, or the 96 undefeated team.
96 undefeated team. Wasn't even close.
Sherrick Simpson was the difference.
No.
Yes, he was.
No.
Yeah, it was.
No.
Okay.
Alonzo Goldston was the difference.
Yeah.
AP was the difference.
Nate was 28. Nate could have taken him. Okay, move on.
Nate was making more money than what Alonzo was.
Nate was military.
Oh, so he didn't get any of the anyway. All right. How do we end up start talking about Tigers? I'm going to throw 96 out there, but I don't know. They were 3 national championships. That's pretty good. Jerome Tang continued to know and mold his basketball team. Cats 9-1. They'll play Nebraska at the T-Mobile Center in Kansas City on Saturday. KU plays Indiana in Lawrence, 11 o'clock on Saturday morning. 10:30 pregame on Hits 106.9. Let's see. Adam Teicher liked the way the Chiefs closed the game out on Sunday. Finally, they start running the football with Jerick McKinnon and Isaiah Pacheco. You didn't like what Mitch Holtis said about Isaiah Pacheco.
Oh, no, that was the best 7th-round draft choice in history. The dude's played 10 games. Come on, Mitch. Oh, it's okay, a little relief. It's not Grumpy Old Man Day.
Well, name me another 7th
I
round
would have
draft
to do
pick.
some research. I do not know off the top of my head.
The best 7th round. So wasn't Tom Brady a 6th round
Yes,
pick?
he was a 6th
So he
round.
would be the best 6th round
I understand
draft
that. But he's played 10 games, and you're already, Mitch. Okay, never mind.
The Chiefs take on the Texans on Sunday. 12 noon.
Beware.
11 o'clock pregame on B1043 The Point.
Texans almost got the Cowboys.
Nah. Cowboys are overrated, too. Tim Hasselbeck talking about the interesting scenario in Denver right now because what if the backup quarterback's better than Russell Wilson?
$245 million is my answer to that.
An interesting scenario. He's saying it'd be better off if that wasn't the case.
No.
They've lost 6 straight right now. Wilson is in concussion protocol. Could miss his 2nd game of the season. He missed just 3 games in 10 years in Seattle.
It's the mile-high altitude.
Does that
or things they do at the mile-high altitude.
Does that to make your head slam harder into the turf? Mississippi State football coach Mike Leach passed away this morning at a hospital in Jackson, Mississippi, after suffering a heart attack. And, man, 19-17 record there, but just in his 3rd season at Mississippi State. Bob Stoops really kind of summing it up, a very unique individual. And I always thought he was way out there in left field, but if Stan Weber used to be like a disciple of not Bob Stoops, but Mike Leach, and he had a pretty good relationship with him and just told what a brilliant offensive mind he was. And you see, I guess that's when we go, you see, okay, they took him to the hospital, he'll be okay. You don't think, that he's not going to make it. But
well, when you heard massive heart attack, you kind of, and he was not in the best of shape.
No, he was not. So Mike Leach does pass away today, widely recognized for his innovative air raid offense. And last night in Monday Night Football, the call on the Sports Hub in Phoenix, Raekwon McMillan returning a fumble, 23 yards for a touchdown. That was in the third quarter. Patriots beat the Cardinals 27-13. Kyler Murray hurt on the third play of the game for Arizona. So the Cardinals will be in Denver Sunday.
Oh, boy. That's must-watch TV. They said Kyler Murray, they're pretty sure he's tore his ACL. He's done for the year. And what can he come back next year? How long's the recovery period going to be?
I don't know.
I'll make sure I'm watching that Arizona-Denver game. That'll be a good one.
Okay, all right. There's your sounds the past 24 hours and Tuesday sports headlines. Here's our sports day correspondent.
Am I reading the ones you gave me? Okay, this
Mike
is a good.
Hesher.
I like this one.
No, you got to.
Oh, I got to do these first. Okay.
Yeah, you're the sports headline guy, but no, not that one.
The other one.
Yeah, you just have
the one with the Tuesday. You got to put them in order then. So okay. Tonight's games in the Western Athletic Conference, we have the Larned at Great Bend. That ought to be fairly interesting. Hoisington is hosting Sterling, and we all know the Sterling girls are having a tough year because they lost everybody off of last year, and the Sterling boys are pretty good. You've seen Sterling. So Central Plains League action, Ellenwood goes to El Saline. Maxville is at Central Christian. Central Plains hosting St. John. La Crosse is hosting Dighton. And how did this one get in there? Skyline goes to Kinsley. Okay.
Why wouldn't it be? You don't think Kinsley people and Pratt Skyline is from Pratt, so that's. You don't think that should be in there?
I'm just giving you a hard time,
folks. Mike Hesher doesn't understand. He's never been outside the city limits. Okay, he just goes to the I-70. I apologize to people in Kinsley. Would you give that score again? They play Pratt Skyline tonight.
Yes, they do.
Okay,
Skyline's out Pratt or in Kinsley.
Since we're the official radio station of the Hodgman County Road and Bridge Department, I didn't see you throw Hodgman County on there either.
Well, Ness City's goes to Hodgman County.
They go south to Hodgman County.
Go south, and Osborne's at Victoria.
Okay.
All right.
You don't think, and that we've got Victoria listeners, you ran them all off when we started Trading Post, but.
I did not. I have a lot of 785 callers.
Okay, all right. 785ers. Okay, what else you got?
Let's see. Top 25?
How do you win a game and lose 2 spots in the rankings to beat another undefeated team by 30?
It's they're prejudiced against KU. They don't like them. It's a conspiracy theory. Number 1, I have a buddy who in Colorado loved Purdue, but always said they will lose in the round of 16. No matter what happens, they are ranked number 1 in the latest AP poll. Texas is number 7, and we know that Chris Beard is having some issues. KU is at 8 at 9-1. Baylor 7-2 is 11th, and KU takes on Indiana, as you mentioned earlier. Indiana's at 14, and TCU at 8-1 is in 21st spot. TCU's having a pretty good athletic year, aren't they?
Yeah, K-State just not getting any love.
2 votes.
2 votes.
Iowa State is in there in the receiving votes with 39.
I know, and K-State gets 2.
Texas Tech has 14.
And K-State gets 2.
Well, okay. I think we're aware that K-State has 2 votes in the receiving vote. They're 9-1. They haven't played anybody yet. We'll see where they stand. I'm going to make the Manhattan people mad now at me, so what the heck? We'll see.
I think they're going to be.
I like Tang. I think he's going to be a great coach. I think they're going to do well in the future.
2 votes, come on.
I agree. 9-1.
And they take on Nebraska.
Oh, boy.
Saturday. Go ahead.
Let's see if they can get. Nebraska has struggled for years. They're not really a basketball program. Not that they are a football program anymore either, but we'll see where they go.
Okay.
Yeah. Is it time to move on?
Yes, move on.
Okay, all right.
Well, you're running the show here. I wanted to see how you do.
Okay. Cole
Eric
Beasley.
Clark's warming up in the bullpen.
I understand that. He's got a big personality. Cole Beasley is coming out of retirement.
What?
Cole Beasley is coming out of retirement. He signed with the Buffalo Bills practice squad this morning because the Bills, I bet you didn't know this, the Bills lead the league in drops with 29.
Cole Beasley.
Cole Beasley coming out of
it. He's not going to try to play the rush end.
No, he's a slot receiver.
Okay.
And then we heard about Texas basketball coach Chris Beard was suspended after being arrested on Monday for a felony family domestic charge.
Yeah, that's pretty serious stuff down in Austin.
And then this will lead the Royals back to the playoffs. They signed catcher Jackson Reif yesterday or this morning to a minor league contract. He is from 2014. He was a third-round draft choice by Washington. And this is, I was asking you about, do you know where Firth, Nebraska is?
I wonder if it's where that catcher kid's from.
But Jackson Reif, very good.
Well, where is Firth,
It is
Nebraska?
south of Lincoln. And the population in the 2010 census, 590.
Well, you see a lot of teams pick up catchers at this time.
Well,
because
yeah,
you need catchers for the pitchers.
They basically said this is
spring training.
Yeah, basically said this is, and then the last one is 55 websites were shut down for illegally live streaming the World Cup. So, and the comments were like, so the Department of Justice has nothing better to do in the country right now than chase down people illegally streaming the World Cup.
I'm surprised radio station they put their license on the line for a World Cup game.
Well, that's a good point. This may have been streaming television.
Do we have a World Cup update right now?
Well, I have that. Our Argentina Croatia play at 1:00. So I'm sure that's where Mike Corson is at right now, getting ready for that match.
It took him 2 days to get there, so I don't know. He's right there in the. Yeah, there's Corson out there, right down front with the tall boy Budweiser right there watching.
Like the John 3:16 guy.
Yep, exactly.
From old days.
Okay, so there you go.
Or Marlins Man, if you remember Marlins Man.
Oh, and also coming up, we're going to talk about this. Ron Macy called me. If you want to see the Big 12 football championship trophy, you didn't read that.
Well, I knew you would bring it up. You better be ready and get up early because it's 7 to 9 tomorrow at Marmy's Ford.
So Ron was going to try to get some more. I don't know. So who is is it like the guy carrying it around has white gloves and it's the guy with the NHL Stanley Cup?
The Stanley Cup? Well, good luck. I hope Mason doesn't drop it. That's my only.
They'll probably be big, those big red theater ropes around it.
Probably, yes.
You won't be able to get up there and try to touch it.
But he did not know if Wyatt Thompson was coming, correct? Do we know? Okay. All right.
Okay. I'll find out here during the break. Okay, Gary Wagner's going to talk to us coming up next. Cole Reif will be on here. We might call down to the Army, see what's going on here in a little while as well. So, Sports Day, it is the Tuesday show here on 1590 KVGB and 95.5 FM. Learn the skills you need to get started in a new career in as little as one semester with Barton Community College's workforce training programs. Get real-world experience in fields like carpentry, natural gas, plumbing, scales tech, and welding. You can earn money while you go to school because most classes leave you with plenty of time for a part-time job or apprenticeship. Classes begin January 10th. Sign up today and start your new career. Visit GoBarton.com to get started.
It's our Shop at Home for the Holidays $10,000 shopping spree going on, presented by Maynard Plumbing, Heating and Air, your Bryan dealer, and Bauer Computers. Inviting you to come on by Custom Rebath and My Kitchens at 3810 10th Street in Great Bend. Scott Donovan here with Whitney. What a time it has been for you guys. Busy time this time of year.
Oh my gosh, we are so busy.
Yeah, and you're offering some incredible deals right now. Tell us about it.
We are. We're offering $500 off a complete bathroom remodel or $1,000 off a complete kitchen remodel if you come in today and sign in for a free in-home estimate.
I love that. And if you come on in before 5 o'clock, you can also register to become an instant finalist to win $10,000, which would be great for that bathroom remodel.
Heck yes, it would.
Or maybe even towards the kitchen.
That too.
I love it. Come on by and visit with Whitney and the entire crew today. Make sure you get in here before 5 o'clock and ask about that estimate special. Take advantage of it at Custom Rebath and My Kitchens, 3810 10th Street in Great Bend. The place to be at the Shop at Home for the Holidays. $10,000 shopping spree. Good luck.
Some of us were born to farm. Some diesels, like Cenex Premium Diesel, were born to fuel. Cenex Ruby Fieldmaster comes with a more complete additive package for a more complete burn to reduce particulate matter and keep filters cleaner for longer. Fuel your equipment like a pro with Cenex Ruby Fieldmaster and leave typical number 2 diesel to the amateurs. Cenex Premium Diesel. Diesel that doesn't mess around.
Contact American Plains Co-op in Great Bend, your certified Cenex distributor today.
If you need physical therapy, consider Advanced Therapy in Great Bend and Progressive Therapy in Larned and Hayes.
Hi, my name is Dalton Jones, a patient that I helped. She came in with chronic back pain that she'd been having for years. After several weeks of showing her exercises, several different interventions, we were able to get her back to where she can do her shopping without leaning on the shopping cart at all.
You don't need to hurt. Physical therapy can help. Call Advanced or Progressive Therapy and Sports Medicine to explore your treatment options and get your life back.
It's Sports Day on 1590 KVGB and 95.5 FM. Presented by Barton Community College and the Cougar Athletic Department.
Gary Wagner with us here on Sports Day, the voice of the Larned High School Indians. I'm going to start calling you the Larned Insider now, because now you can tell us everything going on at Larned now that you know you're not teaching over there right now.
I'm before we get into any of that, I'm interested why you have Dirty White Boy as my intro music.
It's what comes up next in rotation.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, there wasn't anything specific about that, but I was just too doggone busy to get a hold of you and find out what your walk-up movie would.
Yeah. Now I have one more question for you.
Yes,
you guys
sir.
are on YouTube. Is this a live broadcast on YouTube, or is it a delayed broadcast?
It is a delayed broadcast. We have, according to our technical engineers on the program, all our live streaming equipment is still on the way.
Okay. Well, I've got yesterday's up, and I'm just pretending while I listen to the app, I'm watching it on my TV, my big screen TV in my man cave, and I'm pretending that I'm watching you live.
Okay. All right. Good. Maybe it is. I don't know. I'm just the radio aspect of it. We may have. There may be 25 other guys that are running this thing, so they keep me away from that stuff. All right, Gary Wagner joined. Hey, okay, give me the update. It looks so. Moffitt Stadium's going to have turf on it.
Well, from what I understand,
Roberts.
There's been talks about just improving the overall athletic venues at the high school. One of them being the football field. You've officiated on that field, and you know what it's like, and it needs help. It needs some work, and I think one of the prevailing thoughts was, well, if we're going to have to, dive into really making it a better facility, maybe just taking that next step into turf it makes sense. That it's, I think 10 years ago, turf maybe was an extravagance. Now it's becoming way more commonplace than I think people realize.
Yeah.
And I think people still feel that way, that, when you hear turf, you think of you kind of think of it as an extravagance, not necessarily something that football stadiums need, and maybe they don't need it, but it is there. It's an option, and even though it's not no maintenance, it certainly kind of changes the game as to what you can do. You can practice on it. You can have more games on it. You don't have to worry about it getting, torn up in bad weather. You don't have to water it, but you do have to take care of it. So I think people are really focused on the idea that it's a turf football field, which some people are in favor of, some people are not, which I totally understand. But it also includes the master plan includes improving the track and field areas. Our throwing areas are in desperate need of being redone and some of those things. So it's not just a football field update. It's more than that. I think that's the thing that people are going to notice most, obviously, is that kind of thing. But my opinion on it's been, if we have money to do something to improve it and to have something nice, why not?
Yeah, and it's going to new track, concession stand. Let's see, new lighting. And the thing about this is, Gary, a lot of this is private money. They went out and raised this.
This. I've seen a lot of people mistakenly say, "Well, my taxes are going to go up." Well, your taxes are already high, but they're not going to go up more because of this project.
Yeah,
it's something that I think is needed. I mean, I would love to drive by 8th Street, and look out on that field and see something that we can all be proud of. And even though there's going to be some people who aren't in favor of spending the money, and I don't even know what the figures are, but 5-10 years down the road, it's nobody will remember that. The people will be able to enjoy, a nice venue. As you know, when you travel around to other venues and other schools, and you see the facilities that some of these schools have. Some of these high schools are pretty nice, and you go out, especially you go out west to places like Hugoton. We had track regionals out there 2 years ago. They've got a turf field. All of their track and field events are right there, and it's just really set up real nice. And to me, if we can do it, then we should. It's a way to attract people to your community. It's a way to putting on a good face. Let's face it. Small towns like Larned and other small towns, you need to be proactive to grow your town and to try to keep your school enrollment up and things like that. And when you show a commitment to doing that instead of just getting by, I think that sends a message to people who maybe are thinking about coming to your community.
Yeah, and it's going to be really nice. And heck, if you get that track in there and all the areas, I mean, that's possible regional track meet, things like that. And I know I said Moffett staff, Earl Roberts Field, but this would be a perfect opportunity. Let's bring football back down to Moffett Stadium. I'd go down that big hill over there by the water tower and just like, man, that's where.
Just play on the dirt.
No. Put the turf down over there. Let's just move the whole thing. You've got those.
Wow, now you're really going to get people riled up.
Well, that's where that statue of Buddy Tabler used to be for many years, man. All right.
I've heard people say, well, why would we do a turf football field? We don't win enough football games. Well, my thinking is, what does that have to do with anything? Does that mean that if your basketball team goes 3-17, that maybe you should tear the floor up and they should play on dirt? I don't understand. To me, that argument makes no sense.
Well, again, when a lot of the money's been raised privately, I mean, that says a statement right there. There's a lot of people that do want it. So, yeah, it will be. I will miss that little bubbling water hole over there at the 8-yard line on the north end on the visitor side.
We could probably, maintain that if you wanted to, make it a little aquatic center or something. And
well, I was like, because Marzoff always referees, and he has to move around the mud hole over there. So,
well, it's Marzoff. Who cares?
You're right. Okay, you're going to be in Great Bend tonight. Larned High School Indians taking on the Great Bend Panthers. 6:00 for the girls' game at the Field House tonight. Both teams are 1-3, and as far as the girls go, Jared Smith second time around, and there's small steps, right? But they are competing, and they've been involved in some close games that haven't come up. Their record would be better had they been able to win some of those close games.
Oh, absolutely. Lost by 4 to Maxville in the fifth place game of the Katy Classic, and Larned just did not play very well in that game. Really had a chance to win that thing. Did beat Spearville in the second round by 6. Opening round, lost by 4 to Ellis. And in the opening game of the season, lost by 2 to Pratt. So, I know the young ladies look at the wins and losses and go, well, here we are again. But, through 4 games, they are competing. They're right there. And the next step is kind of finding somebody to step up and say, all right, we're in a close game. I'm going to be the one to push us over, over the edge and get some of these wins. And I think Jared's still kind of looking for that, for that one individual who will just step up and kind of take the rest of the team with them.
Carly Lemons does a nice job inside, averaging 12 points a game, about 7 or 8 rebounds. So she's not having a bad year, 5'10" sophomore.
Yeah, as a sophomore, she's really improved. Last year she showed some flashes, and I think she's just improved again. I think there's a little more emphasis from the coaching staff to try to work with her, develop some more post moves. As a freshman playing varsity ball, you don't get a lot of opportunities to really hone your game that in that year. You got to work on stuff, and there's a variety of moves available to a post player, but it's all about muscle memory and reading with your back to the basket and those kind of things. And she's got a ways to go, but averaging double figures through 4 games, and if she catches around the backboard, good things usually happen. And Akila Collins is another player who's good around the bucket. She's athletic, she can jump, and the two of those kind of get into a high-low game. And when things are working well for them, they look good.
Gary Wagner with us here. Okay, is this the greatest comeback yet? Brady Hope. I mean, he's getting to play. That's just wonderful, because I think a lot of people thought he was going to miss the entire season, the rest of the sports season, but he's back out there, so that's great to see.
Yeah, that was big news. Got hurt in football for the second straight year, and you remember last year he got hurt towards the end of the season or midway through, whatever it was, and didn't come back till very late in this basketball season, and had an elbow injury this year in football, and we kept hearing that it was a possibility he may not even get to play baseball, much less basketball. Yeah. And so to get him back, he sat out the first 2 games, but came back. Of course, the first game he comes back, we get a win, just to kind of cement his his legacy, I guess. But Brady also has a tendency to understand that a lot kind of rides on him. And so he may be guilty of trying to do a little too much now and then, but he also knows his team needs him to do those things. And so I think once they kind of all settle in, playing together, I think things will come together for him. He and Cade Colglazier really play well together. Cade's a 6'3" junior. He had 27 points in that win over St. John in the Katy Classic. Those two really work well off just kind of feed off each other, and I'm excited to see what they can do down the stretch.
All right, Gary, we appreciate you spending time with us today. Just tell the mayor that this isn't Larned. He can't come over here and park in a fire lane when you guys get out of your car to go broadcast the game.
Oh, man, I suppose we got to walk and carry our own gear and everything.
Yeah, you can. Well, if you want to bring some of those assistants over there with you, that's fine. Because Buddy has an entourage with him, so... Well, I know, but they don't take care of me. They take care of him. Well, we'll wait for the King's arrival tonight. Okay.
We'll see you tonight.
All right. Gary Wagner with us here on Sports Day. Cole Reif's going to come in, and we'll talk Barton basketball. Cougars wrapping up the pre-Christmas portion of the schedule last night, and we'll talk to Cole about that right after this.
Hey everyone, this is Cole Reif, voice of the Barton Cougars. Attending sporting events for Barton Community College is great, but did you know you can support the athletic teams even further by getting involved with the Cougar Booster Club? The Boosters help with fundraising for equipment and facility upgrades to give Barton athletes every opportunity to keep succeeding at the regional and national levels. Join the Cougar Booster Club as an individual or business. Call 620-792-9377. Become a booster today. Go Cougars.
Eldridge has everything for the biggest room at your house.
Hi, this is Wally with Eldridge Fencing. Come see us for your hard-to-buy Christmas presents. We have a large inventory of barbecue accessories, flagpoles, and, of course, fence, deck, and handrail. Come see us today at Eldridge Fencing, 80 East 10th Street, Great Bend.
Turn your own backyard into the best vacation spot you've ever been. Eldridge storage for the biggest room at your house.
Hi, I'm Travis Thompson, Vice President and Regional Manager of Farmers Bank and Trust in Larned, Kansas. As the holidays approach, fraudsters are in full gear, and Farmers Bank and Trust can help. We'll monitor your debit cards and contact you if anything unusual tries to run through your card. Set your own alerts and notifications from our FBT mobile app. If you lose your card, turn it off and back on, all from your phone. For more security, check out our Safeguard checking account with features that alert you to changes on your credit score. Happy holidays from Farmers Bank and Trust, member FDIC.
He's the voice of Hoisington High School football, the Barton County Cougars, and the king of the tweeter machine. It's Cole Reif on Sports Day on 1590 KVGB and 95.5 FM.
Sports Day rolling on today. Cole Reif in with us right now. You mind if we go to the Sports Day hotline here? Wait a second. There we go. Okay, there we go.
Yeah, who's on the line today?
Well, let's find out. Welcome into Sports Day. Who's this?
Hello, everybody. This is your friend, Ron Mason.
Hey! How you doing, Ronnie? So, what's going on tomorrow? People are going to be able to come down and see the shrine, the Big 12 football championship trophy.
That is correct. Basically, tomorrow, what we found out yesterday late is the Big 12 championship football trophy will be in Great Bend at Marmy Ford on the showroom floor at 7 a.m. till 9 a.m. And basically, I guess they're going to show up, or they're going to be in Great Bend probably late tonight, and then they're going to show up at 7 tomorrow. So it's going to be they're going to be able to take pictures with the Big 12 championship football trophy.
Okay, and I was just wondering, he said, well, who's going to be there? And then Wyatt texted me back, said, well, he said it's kind of weird, but there's going to be some interns. So I don't.
Good.
Yeah, so if you're coming out there and wanting to see Chris Kleiman tomorrow or something like that, probably that's not going to happen. But still, you get
I don't
a chance.
think so either. I think they should probably be preparing for the Sugar Bowl.
Yeah,
I hope.
Yeah. So are they going to let you touch it? I mean, are you going to?
I hope not, because that might happen like one of those Tom Brady deals, like throwing it to somebody else. No.
Yeah, you and Titus pitching it back and forth. Yeah, that probably wouldn't be.
No, me and him wouldn't. No, we're getting up there to where we probably couldn't catch anything.
Okay, so that's going to be neat. From 7 to 9 in the morning, you can come over there and get your picture taken with the Big 12 championship trophy.
That is correct. We're going to have we'll have coffee, donuts, etc.
All right.
So if you get a chance, I'll save you a donut. I'll save Hesh a donut. I'll give Cole Reif all the donuts he needs.
All right, I'm coming over.
Look at that. I put you on the show, and then I come over. Yeah, save Hesh's and give it to him on Friday, okay?
I will. I'll leave it out for him. Hesh needs to, he needs to gain a little bit of weight.
Not my problem. Hey, Ronnie, thank you.
Okay, appreciate it, guys.
You bet. Ron Mason. So you can see the...
Well, that's big news. That's probably the top news in Great Bend at the moment right now.
Well, and no one really knew what was going to go on, so yeah. And I guess interns are bringing. But you can have a Power Cat tour in Chris Kleiman going around. So it's 7 to 9.
7 to 9 tomorrow at Marmy's.
Yeah, donuts,
coffee, and get your picture taken with the Big 12 trophy. It amazes me every time, KU or K-State has a big accomplishment. I think especially with K-State fans. I mean, the Big 12 championship is a big deal. Like, that's awesome. Like, congratulations. But it is like the equivalent of winning, like, 5 Super Bowls in K-State land. It amazes me. Like, their constant loyalty and supports for a program, well, let's be honest, has been mediocre for a long, long time. And then they come in and win a Big 12 championship. That's cool, but it's like shut down the town.
It's a Big 12.
Yeah. It is. It's just K-State fans they're interesting to me. All fans are interesting on different levels.
But you know that the billboard people across the state were very excited once that happened.
Oh yeah,
because billboards are going up right now all over the place.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Your voice hanging in there. You can get a couple weeks now to rest it now.
Yeah.
You're done. Hey, and Doc Henderson, 41 years, hanging it up. I wonder, is there going to be a ceremonial last ankle taping, or what's going to happen here?
Well, I don't know. I mean, he didn't have a whole lot of fun last night. I know that in his final farewell, but it was cool seeing
So he's
Butler.
done now?
Well, Friday. Friday will be his official last day. Wow. But that was his last game last night in El Dorado, so he made one last trek, and yeah, I told him before the season started because I knew it was going to happen. I was like, "You're not going to finish the season?" He's like, "No, I'm good." It's like he quit a semester. They're like, "Yeah, that's enough."
He's like, he's seen it all at Barton.
Yes, I mean, he talked to me about his first game back in would have been the 81-82 season. It was like a bench clearing brawl at Pratt. Well, I don't know if it was his first game, but it was his first season.
Yeah, I remember that.
And so like he was part of that, and he said since that moment, that first game, like he was hooked. He was like, this is where I want to be, because at that time the juice was just as good as watching, like going to a KU game or something like that. Like attending to a Barton game back in the 80s and 90s was just as as exciting. So he said he was hooked from the get-go, and he's been there ever since.
Yeah, Richard Steen was one of the ones that started that down there playing for the Pratt Beavers back in the day. So, all right, 12 for 30?
Yeah, weird. Super weird. I mean, it was contagious. I think at one point they missed 9 straight.
So they played Butler 180 times or whatever, something like that? And that was the lowest scoring output they've ever had?
Yeah, that was the 103rd meeting.
Oh, 130, okay.
103rd, I should say, so 103. That was the 103rd meeting, and that was the lowest combined points between the two. It was 110 previously. They went for 106 combined points, and the lowest point outing for Barton in the series with Butler was 50, and they scored 49 last night. So
it doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't. But the offense is rough. It's rough right now. The cool thing is their defense is right there with anybody in the Jayhawk, but especially in basketball, I know they always say, defense wins championships and you can blah, blah, blah. But in basketball, eventually
you can put that ball through.
Yeah, your defense can only hold on for so long. You can be really, really good, but you're not going to come up with too many wins like that. So, not a good way to finish the season, not only with the loss, but, they lost 3 of their last 4 games. And in that one win in those 4 games, they had to eke out 72-70 against Pratt this past Saturday. So, I was talking to a couple people. Hopefully, Santa brings some offensive gifts, some offensive solutions during these next few weeks as they figure things out. But again, they have the individual talent. It's just for whatever reason it doesn't come together.
And despite all of that, they're up by 1 point there in the second half.
Yeah.
Butler wasn't exactly tearing the nets
off.
off.
Butler's going to have their struggles too, and maybe they'll figure that out. I mean, Kyle Fisher's really good. I like what he's doing with the program, but I don't know if they're down a little bit. They're 11-4 on the season, but they're down a little bit. So, you lose by 7, and yet in my 10 years calling Barton games, I've seen far worse blowouts. I've seen Coffeyville put up 30 spot on Barton at their place. I've seen Hutchinson roll through and 20-point wins. So we've seen far more bigger blowouts for sure, playoff losses. But that game, just in general, last night may have been the ugliest game that I have seen over the last 10 years. And that's from both sides.
On the men's side?
On the men's side. I've seen
I was going to say, I'm going to nominate the Cali Barton women's game down in Arc City, but that if you throw them, but that you weren't the voice. That Lady Cougars get a big win, and as Alan Clark mentioned on a post-game show, you look at their 5 road games against 5 teams that they're going to be contending with, so they have to come back to Great Bend second semester. So Barton got their work done, 3 big wins to go into the break.
Yeah, they're sitting really nice. Obviously there's going to be some good games coming up. That Dodge City game on January 14th is huge, and they come out of the gate with a road trip down to Liberal. And that's the last standing one for me that I haven't seen a women's win at Seward County yet. I've seen some men's wins there, but I've never seen the women get a win in Liberal. So it's been a while. So we were able to check off the sports arena 2 years ago, able to check off the power plant last year and again last night. but the Greenhouse has been one of those places. So that'll be a tough one. I mean, in Seward County, they're playing well after a slow start. They're now 7-2 in conference play, just behind Dodge City. So they'll have some good ones. But the nice thing about for the women and the men, but they don't have any more back-to-back road games. And then they have 3 back-to-back home games. So they're stacked heavily with road games in the months of January and February. So that'll be nice.
Cole Reif with us here. So how does it feel? Because really, no one really knows. He just goes to ball game, but doing everything else that you have to do every day, and then you go through the football season, and then at the end of the football season, the basketball season gets started, and then you're going and going and going and going, and now you've got a couple weeks off. Does that make you? Feel happy inside? I mean, just get a little breather here?
Yeah, I think you need a break. I mean, because especially with the month of November. That's tough. The overlap of November is kind of a grind. But, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, it comes every year, so you expect it to be that way. But, then it's basically like you push through your basketball mode, just get to the break. Yeah. Because then for me, it really clicks in January. Like November and December, and obviously with the conference change and you're playing conference games in mid-November, there's importance and there's excitement on some of those games.
But it's not like
But it's not, yeah. It's just at the same time, like you mentioned on the show multiple times, like going to Hutch in early November is like, okay, this is a big game, but it's November.
It's November.
So, yeah. For me, basketball mode doesn't really click until January. Like, I'm still in football mode, even like Hoisington may have lost wherever they lose, on that given year, but like it's still football mode for me. Yeah. So and even watching like Division I, like watching KU or K-State play or even Duke play, I was kind of like, okay, cool. There's a basketball game going on, but I don't know, for whatever reason.
I think you're seeing that nationally now with college basketball. Just there's not as much sizz about it, and just okay, we'll just wait. And it's like Christmas Day for the NBA, which of course Christmas Day then becomes, Valentine's Day, and then you go back and it's June. Okay, now I might start paying attention. Cole, appreciate it, and you still got to come back in. Are you off next week? I don't know. We'll
touch base.
Okay, we'll touch base. Cole Reif with us here on Sports Day. Panther Prowl on the prowl with Mike Corson coming up next on Sports Day.
From the Mayo Money Management Studios, 1590 KVGB Great Bend and 95.5 FM K238CK Hoisington.
Let technology bring you closer this holiday season to loved ones near and far. With unlimited data as low as $25 a month, you can get the phone you want with the features you need from the best people. Next Tech Wireless, keeping Kansans connected.
Learn the skills you need to get started in a new career in as little as one semester with Barton Community College's workforce training programs. Get real-world experience in fields like carpentry, natural gas, plumbing, scales tech, and welding. You can earn money while you go to school because most classes leave you with plenty of time for a part-time job or apprenticeship. Classes begin January 10th. Sign up today and start your new career. Visit GoBarton.com to get started.
When you need to get rid of the pain, you want the best. You need to see Dr. Dan Quillen at Catalyst Therapy and Sports Rehab. Dr. Dan is Barton County's only board-certified clinical specialist in orthopedic physical therapy. No matter your age, when it hurts, he will help. Call Dan at 620-282-4825. That's 282-4825. Excellence-driven, unrivaled results. Catalyst Therapy and Sports Rehab. Inside the Fieldhouse at 9th and Madison in Great Bend.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Sports Day presents On the Prowl with Mike Corson, an inside look at all the sports taking place at Great Bend High School.
Welcome back to Sports Day, 1590 KVGB, 95.5 FM. Mike Corson joined once again by Great Bend High School wrestling coach Nathan Broeckelman. Coach, big weekend to get into, but first we will start with Dodge City dual action on Thursday, and Dodge City was number 1 in Class 6-5A, and you guys almost get the win out there, even though you had a couple open weights that you gave up 12 points on.
Yeah, we gave up 12 points, actually 18 points, but we got one back at heavyweight, so we gave up 12 points off the top, and we lost by 6 to the number 1 team in the state, all classifications. Hands down, probably one of the best teams that we've seen in the state of Kansas as far as Kansas girls wrestling goes since it started. And I was extremely happy with the girls. I was very proud. Honestly, I was not too optimistic going into that matchup, just kind of watching some of the results from the first week. I kind of honestly thought we'd maybe get lucky to win 1 or 2 matches. And, our girls came through and wrestled tough and lost by basically came down to the wire. If our 190-pounder somehow pulls an upset on their 190-pounder, we win that duel. So very excited for how the girls performed.
And then that kind of leads into what happened Friday and Saturday. 29 teams at your Christmas Clash, which was pretty awesome to attend. And WAC schools took the top 4 spots, but Dodge City kind of ran away with it as a team. But so we will go back to Thursday, or even back to state last year. Daisy Gomez gets 4th place against Ariana De La Rosa, who got 3rd place. And then Thursday, Dodge City wins that match again, and they were going to meet in the finals on Saturday. Kind of what was the strategy to maybe look for a first win there?
The strategy was De La Rosa doesn't like to shoot. She shoots every once in a while, but her game plan usually is to let us try to take a shot because she's real good at sprawling and punishing girls. And so we kind of played into that, and it worked out. We just got caught in a headlock with about 20 seconds left, and we were up by 1. So Daisy just keeps getting closer and closer with De La Rosa. We've already wrestled her twice this year. I think we've wrestled each other freshman and sophomore year. We were in the same weight class. I'd say we're getting close to probably 15 times we've lost to De La Rosa in Daisy's career. And, I think hopefully it's going to be one of those things that once we get the victory that we don't have to look behind. We can just continue to start winning by more than just cutting it close to a loss or cutting it close on a win.
And I'll say I was on the floor for that match, and De La Rosa always she's got a nice mean look on her face. Daisy gets the takedown in the 3rd period with about 40 seconds left to take the lead, and you're like, here it goes, and then what do you know? De La Rosa responds. Your other finalist was Katie Kuhlman at 130 pounds. So you go kind of from a strategic-looking match to a very high-energy match against Hoisington's Deja Jones. Kind of what happened in that match?
Katie was wrestling Deja Jones very well. It was a very exciting match, like you said. She got a takedown early. We got an escape, and I believe she might have got another takedown. We got an escape, and then we took her down right at the end. Looked like we were trying to turn her. And then Deja, I think, got a little mad a little bit and threw us in a headlock once, got out of it, got us in another headlock again there in the 2nd period. We'll see Deja again, hopefully this week at Hoisington for a rematch, and hopefully we can turn it around to go our way.
And then kind of looking down the other girls here, Haley Halende, 6-5 decision over Olathe West in the 3rd place match at 235 pounds. And Kira Stevens gets 4th place in a very tough bracket at 170. How about those two?
Haley just got back from an injury, so she was trying to get down to 190, just wasn't going to quite make it. So I told her, well, let's just get some matches at 235. And, I think she maybe found a little groove this week at 235, only losing to the 2nd place finisher, I believe, from Valley Center. I believe the Fine Girl's pretty tough. I'm not sure if she's, off the top of my head, I can't remember if she's ranked or not, but I know she's got to be tough if she's practicing with Michaela Rivera, who's probably one of the top girls in our state right now at 190 pounds. So if she's practicing with her every day, she's going to be a tough girl. So that's a pretty big win for Haley.
Yeah, so Rivera, just looking at that, she won at 235 last year. Now she's at 190 this year. And I think her 3 matches lasted under a minute and a half this weekend at our tournament.
Yeah, she's a tough girl, probably one of the toughest girls in our state. And back to your question, Kira Stevens is actually a 55-pounder wrestling up at 170. She actually filled in for Leah Noakes, who's our varsity wrestler. But the way Kira's been wrestling, you never know. She might bump up and decide to challenge Leah. But 4th place finish. I think she's only got maybe 2 losses on the year at 170. So she's a pleasant surprise. Just got to keep adding tools to her tool belt.
And then another big one was freshman Kaylee McMullen, placed fifth. I think she pinned her McPherson wrestler in the fifth place match. Just pleased to see a freshman coming into a tournament that big this early.
Yeah, Kaylee McMullen got first at Kid State last year as an 8th grader. She had a tough first-round match against Ott of Hades, who I believe is the number 6 ranked 6A, 5A girl and 120 pounds. We lost that match 3-2, and we battled all the way back on the backside of that big 32-man bracket to take 5th. Picking up some pins on some pretty good girls. We even put the Stockton girl, Han, who I believe was a 3rd-place finisher last year, 3rd or 4th, in small school girls classifications, put her on her back and almost picked up a fall, but unfortunately got put on her own back in the second period.
So we'll kind of wind it down here. I know you had said it's going to be your first big Christmas clash, so probably something will need improved. Obviously the microphone situation, but all in all, pretty darn good weekend.
Yeah, you know what? Well, need a little bit more seating, but that's just kind of how it is with the PAC situation with the seating. We got some ideas that we're going to probably maybe try next year with a little bit different bleacher setup and bringing a few more of the smaller bleachers in maybe for the team so that, the main bleachers can just be filled up with spectators. But I think overall it went well, went pretty smooth. We were home by 6 o'clock tonight. I was able to make my daughter's dance recital, which I didn't know if I was going to be able to make. So, had a great Thursday, Friday, Saturday wrestling, and I got to spend it watching my daughter do something that she loves.
Excellent. Lady Panthers return to action Friday in Hoisington. Good luck.
Thank you.
Right, more Sports Day after this.
Venture Corporation is a homegrown company with almost 50 years of experience in asphalt, paving, and construction. They have quite a few jobs scheduled for the new year, and they need equipment operators, mechanics, and CDL drivers. Venture offers many benefits, including 401k and Blue Cross Blue Shield health insurance. Call Leslie for all the details. Work for a family-owned and family-oriented company that is here today and will be here in the future. Venture Corporation, South Highway 281, Great Bend, is an equal opportunity employer.
Let me guess. Unknown caller? You could reduce the number of unwanted calls and emails with online privacy protection. The latest innovation from Discover will help regularly remove your personal info, like your name and address, from 10 popular people search websites that could sell your data. And we'll do it for free. Activate in the Discover app. See terms and learn more at discover.com/online privacy protection.
How do you make the most of your land? If you ask the Wrens, who run with us on a John Deere mower, they tell you,
I mow first, then I do all the trimming.
But the Hubbards, who work behind the wheel of a John Deere compact tractor, would say,
if it's something you want, just go after it and try it.
Then there's the Mosers, who may mention from the seat of their John Deere Gator UTV.
You can't be all work and not play.
There are millions of ways to make the most of your land. Learn how to make the most of yours at Deere.com. Nothing runs like a Deere.
Sports Day proudly presents...
Hey, you! Get off my yard!
A look at what's bugging our grumpy old sports hosts.
At least one of them.
Oh, I'm always grumpy.
What do you got today, Mike Hesher?
This is very recent. It just came to me. Ron Mason talking smack on me when I don't have a chance to respond. Come on down. Come on to the station, dude. I'm ready for you.
Well, you've got an open mic right now.
I can't say those things on FCC license. They'll get me in trouble.
Really? So
It's Ron Mason. He's an aggravating young man. Love you, Ron.
Okay.
Do you have something?
Yes.
Okay.
People are telling me that I have to like soccer.
You don't have to like it.
Well, listen. Well, I watched the World Cup, but I can't now.
0-0, 0-0, excuse me. Argentina, Croatia, it was about the 20th minute. There was no warning, so if you're wanting to watch it, spoiler alert.
Oh, I'm sure people all over town.
Oh, of course it was like, don't tell me the score. Mike's like, don't tell me the score. I'm taping it.
All right.
Okay.
Mike Hesher's returned to the Activity Center tonight. He's the voice of the Cardinals. You'll have the Cardinals against Sterling and The mayor and Gary Wagner will be here in Great Bend tonight over Great Bend High School. I'll be there along with Aaron Clark. Really looking forward to it. I think the last time I did a game, a high school game at the Panther Fieldhouse, 1988.
Seriously?
Yeah, back when I was the Great Bend voice of the Panthers a long, long time ago.
Wasn't that long ago? Come on now.
It is my favorite high school venues in the state.
Why is that?
I'm kind of like Patrick. It's just old. It's not old, but they have those people. Yeah, you go around and you walk through the little
right.
Yeah, to go sit in your seats on the upper level.
It's vintage.
Yeah, and look forward to the game tonight to see the Great Bend Lady Panthers, see if they go to 4-1. Great Bend boys, they can get to play the first half. I think they'll be in good shape. Both the boys and girls get going a little bit faster tonight. I think they'll be okay. And then Emporia comes in here on Friday, so a great way to close the pre-Christmas portion of the schedule.
I'm done tonight. Till next year.
Then you actually dare take a day off?
Yes.
On Thursday? Tune in for Trading Post that day. It'll be a lot of fun.